Your love is strong, it still remains. Toss and turn all night in the sheets, and I can't sleep. Night after night, I don't know what it means in my dreams. What can I say or do? You won't come back when you're through. Not realize too late that baby your love has turned away. In my dreams it's still the same. Your love is strong, it still remains. In my dreams you're still by me, just the way it used to be. Calling your name but you're turning away. Please don't leave. Running in circles, waiting to see you in my dreams. What can I say or do? You won't come back when you're through. Not realize too late that baby your love has turned away. In my dreams it's still the same. Your love is strong, it still remains. In my dreams you're still by me, just the way it used to be. In my dreams it's still the same. Your love is strong, it still remains. In my dreams you'll always be. In my heart and in my dreams. In my dreams you'll always be. In my dreams you'll always be. In my dreams your love is strong. In my dreams.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Live Stream Tuesday. I hope that you've had a great day today and that your weekend was good as well. Thank you guys for joining me in that live chat room tonight. This is me, Phil. Obviously, I was jumping into the live chat earlier on, and because I was typing and not looking at the clock, we started about 30 seconds to a minute late tonight. So you'll be able to see that in the chat room. Thank you guys for joining me. Let's see who we have in there tonight. And we have Lynn, Carl, Deborah, Constantia, Nalita, Neil and Carla moderating in their stand. Susan, Dennis in the house, Leanne, Martin, and Donna, Jennifer, Deborah, Sue, and HowCoTube. Hello, thank you for joining me tonight. And let me get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this possible in the first place. All of the live streams and the analysis videos, the live analysis videos, you name it. So thank you guys at the bottom of the screen. You know who you are. They also pop up in the super chat window, but also the PayPal donation window as well. So thank you guys for all of the support and making this possible. And I can see that we're a little misaligned with the live chat room, so let me see if I can organize that now live on the air and see if I can find the right box in order to get it a little bit straighter. I might not be able to. Hang on, what does this do? Let's click that and move it across. Here we go. So now we get to see all of your pictures as well next to your usernames, which is a lot better. So thank you to the moderators as always. You'll see them go through the screen, through that comment section. They have a wrench next to their name, and their names are blue as well. So thank you to Neil and Carla who are in there, and also Laurie who moderates as well, for keeping it such a great place in that live chat room. So let's give a heads up to the likeometer early doors, because on a Tuesday it's always a challenge for us to hit targets on our likeometer, because of the fact that Tuesday is just a bit more of a rubbish day compared to a Saturday. Unfortunately, just for work and the fact that the week has just started, we've got to try and keep our spirits up. But we are at 116 likes already, so if you haven't left a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be much appreciated, because we are aiming for, I think it's 370 is the target, and we've kind of been getting close. Unfortunately, we've just been sabotaged by YouTube recently because of the likes getting to a certain point, and then about 300, 320 they then decreased. I don't know why, but we will see what happens tonight if we even reach those dizzy heights. But if you do get a chance to hit that thumbs up, it would be much appreciated. So there were a few donations before we went live, so thank you guys for those. I have to go to a different place in order to grab these, so I'm going to look at this different screen, and let me get that donations PayPal thing up on screen as well, so you guys can see percentages and all that kind of stuff that YouTube takes. But we had a donation that came in from Orlando for $5, and that was Orlando's request at the beginning of the live stream. A little bit of Dokken. We also had a lot of requests over on Patreon for Just Got Lucky by Ducken. Just Got Lucky by Dokken. So that was one of those that was requested a lot, but Orlando has been away for a little while from the live streams, but he's back again tonight, and he requested In My Dreams. So I tried to get the best of both worlds there and get a couple of requests in by putting Dokken in there, but with a track that was requested by Orlando. And Orlando has this first donation, and thank you for that, Orlando. It's for $5. The message is, spike the likes with lots of thumbs up. I will make this live stream rock on with lots of rock horns. So thank you for that, Orlando. And Ginny has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Ginny. The message is, Phil, this came up. Have you ever seen bandmates so mad at one another they refuse to go on stage together, or had one leave at the last second, no warning? Take care. So thank you for that, Ginny. And I've never been to a gig or seen a gig firsthand. You sometimes see that kind of thing on YouTube, but not firsthand. And in terms of my previous bands and bandmates, I'd like to think that I'm quite diplomatic in the way that I approach things. So I've never been in a band where anyone's refused to play. There have been gigs where we feel like not playing because of the promoters or the venue just not being very nice, and we've always played every gig that we turned up to. So actually, I've just remembered there was one that we didn't play when I was maybe about 23 or 24, because we were due to go on at something like 7 p.m. and there were supposed to be other bands that were playing there on the night, and there were other bands. There were about 8 or 9 or 10 other bands. So rather than play at 7, we then on the night, and we got all of our friends and family down for a 7 o'clock performance, and rather than play at 7, they then put us forward to 7:30. And then they said, oh, we've got another band who are just going to play before you. So then we got put forward to 8, and then it put back to 8, and then it was 8:30, and then it was 9, and then it was 9:30, and then it was 10, and then it was 10:30. At which point we said we're leaving, because there were still 3 or 4 bands to go, because it's so badly organised. And it meant that our friends and family had been there probably since about 6, waiting to see us at 7, and we still hadn't gone on yet at 10:30. And we said to our friends and family, look, we don't want to ruin your night because you're going to be here for another 2 or 3 hours. We're not going to get on till 1 or 2, and that's if they even have a license for live music to go on that far. So we don't want to ruin their next work day. And yeah, we said, look, we're going to go home because we're also having to get up for work, us members of the band. So that was an absolute washout of a gig. And that's the only one that we ever didn't play just because we thought it's just a bit out of order to expect your friends and family to actually travel quite far. It wasn't a local gig, so they'd come quite far to watch us, and we eventually didn't play that one. And of course we weren't very happy with the venue and the promoters, but it always tends to be the case that promoters put on a gig and they book 8 or 10 bands, and they don't realize what it takes to actually put on a gig for just 4 bands, the organization, in order to have just a swift turnaround between the bands. And they'd booked way too many bands. There just wasn't enough space for people's gear, and this is why you can't just have a band play for half an hour and then say, right, so if we have 8 bands, that's going to be 8 times half an hour, so that would be 4 hours. It doesn't work like that because you've got the turnaround time, which is at least 15-20 minutes between bands. I think if you've done gigs and you know what they're all about, you get experience about how to put on a gig and how long it takes to actually organize it and rotate bands from one to the next and get everything set up. So yeah, that was the only one that we didn't play at, but that wasn't because it was the band having arguments within the band. It was just we collectively thought this is just out of order to expect our friends and family to stay for this long, and we're going to leave. But anyway, thank you for that, Jenny. And we've had another donation from Melinda, who has donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, my favourite British guitarist, and then in brackets, Mark Knopfler second. So thank you for the very kind words, but I'm not sure that would be most people's choices, but thank you for that, Melinda. And Melinda has donated again another $5, and the message is, where you been, pilgrim, with a smiley face. So thank you for that. And I haven't been anywhere. I think it's something with YouTube. Unfortunately, people haven't been notified about the videos. I literally haven't been anywhere in terms of having a break on the channel and not uploading videos in about 3 years, maybe 3.5 years, 4 years even. I don't know. I have to have a little look back. But I have pretty much been doing something every night for, it was 2.5 years, and then 5 times a week since probably the last, I don't know, year, something like that. So if you do want to get notified for every video, you have to click on subscribe and then click the notification bell and then tick the box. I think there's a box that says be notified for everything. So it means that when I do a live stream, you'll get notified. When I do a live analysis, and when I do pretty much any video, sometimes there are interview videos which will be happening in the future as well. Under the Spotlight, which is a new video series that's going to be coming out on the channel soon. And yeah, pretty much if you want to be notified for everything, you can also join over on patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus, because that is where you will get every single video ever, but also little updates that I put on there about videos and things that I'm working on for the future and letting you know how things go. So that is the place to be for just staying up to date with everything, but also getting every single video. But yeah, this is another thing that some people have said, oh, it's great that you've taken a break. What have you been doing on your break? And they're talking about months, thinking that I just, because they haven't been notified, that I haven't been doing anything for maybe 2 or 3 months and have been on a break, and then I come back. Whereas, as you guys know that are here regularly on these live streams, I haven't taken a break pretty much ever, especially with these live streams. It'd be interesting to look back and see when was the last live stream Tuesday or live stream Saturday that we didn't do. And I know that we've done a live stream on New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve for at least 2 years, or certainly a New Year's Eve live stream for at least 2 years. So that means I know that I haven't missed a live stream in 2 years. It's just whether it's going to be longer than that, whether it's 3 years. So anyway, to cut a long story short, I haven't stopped. So if you are checking out this live stream thinking, where have I been? I've been here. It's just, I'll always be here pretty much. As long as there's people watching and enjoying the videos, I will be uploading them. So thank you everyone for joining me on these live streams and giving me people to talk to and an audience to not only talk with, but show on screen as well. We will be having a couple of pictures shown up on screen later on, and this will be from the Wings of Pegasus supporters page over on Facebook, which you guys can join if you want to. And just having a little look at the likeometer, 140, we're doing pretty well. It's only 12:15, so thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. We can keep on doing that. So, quick thumbs up. I can see Laurie going through saying, Phil, take a break, question mark, exclamation mark, with lots of crying faces. So I think that's because, not telling me to take a break, but saying that if I did take a break, then what would everybody do? And what would I do? That's the most important thing. What would I do with my time? I'd have too much time. Maybe I could get back to, well, I guess having a break doesn't count if I then try and do cover videos or organize interviews or do more under the spotlight. I'd just be doing exactly the same, but just not uploading it. So I probably wouldn't be technically on a break. But anyway, thank you everybody for the early donations, but also for those ones that came in before the live stream that then disappear. Hopefully I have addressed all of those. And also Lisa has donated $2, and Lisa is mentioning something that I have heard on the grapevine, saying happy birthday Carla Murray on April 22nd. So we're going to be saying a big happy birthday in advance to Carla in the live chat room tonight. Carla's one of the moderators in there, and Carla is going through with that crying with a smiley or crying face. So thank you for that, Carla. And everyone say a huge happy birthday to Carla for Thursday, so in 2 days time. And I know that Carla has had, I think, one of her jabs for the COVID jab and has been feeling a little bit under the weather. So I hope that, Carla, you feel better and have a fantastical day in a couple of days time, and that you receive all the gifts that you wish and what you ask for, if you're even asking for anything for your birthday. But a huge happy birthday to Carla for Thursday. So thank you, Lisa, as well, for that $2 donation and for mentioning it as well in that super chat window. And Orlando has donated $5 as well. Again, thank you for that, Orlando. The message is, thank you for playing that Dokken cover. I was requesting it for weeks. You rock, Philip, with some rock horns. So thank you, no problem, Orlando. I hope you guys enjoyed Orlando's request there. And I can see that Lisa actually donated in the PayPal window as well. So let's have a little jump over there, if I can get my little arrow organized. And Lisa did donate £5. So thank you for that, Lisa. The message is, rest in peace, songwriter Jim Steinman. His songs were epic and inspirational. Bat Out of Hell is a musical masterpiece. The combination of Jim's lyrics and Meatloaf's voice will never be forgotten. He will live on in our hearts and memories forever. So thank you for that message and donation, Lisa, not only in the super chat window, but also over on PayPal. And yes, Jim Steinman was one of those classic songwriters, and if you're looking for a guy who could write a hit, he was certainly one of those. And I think everybody knows Bat Out of Hell, and the album as well, just one of the biggest selling albums of all time. And it was also something that he was involved with, a Total Eclipse of the Heart. I think that was one of his songs as well, and that was Bonnie Tyler that sang that. So another huge hit. But I mean, he wrote loads of hits, was involved in musicals as well. So yes, this was following the sad news that Jim Steinman passed away recently. I'm not sure how recent it was, whether it was today or over the last few days. It's not something that I saw until Lisa has mentioned it there in the PayPal window. So thank you for that, Lisa. And I'm just going to jump into the super chat window because we have had some donations in there. They don't appear on the main screen, but I can see them on the super chat window in front of me. It's just on a different screen. So thank you guys for these. And it was Desico Incorporated, we know as the full username now, but Des, who has donated $20. Thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, in writing a song, have you ever gotten stuck with writer's block? If so, have you got any advice? With a heart and some rock horns. So thank you for that. And it's difficult because sometimes you might have a really cool riff that you think, oh, this will make a great song. You might have a really good progression for the verse, and you might have the whole song instrumentally, and then getting a melody over the top of it can be really difficult, and then just writing the words can be really difficult as well. So I tend to not try and rush anything. I think that if you're trying to, obviously if you're signed and you've got deadlines, then you do have to rush it, and this is why sometimes some bands release albums that are a little bit suspect, and you can tell that some songs on an album have just been put on there because they're trying to meet that deadline, and the record label might say, right, we're releasing the album on April the 22nd and we need to get 3 more songs in the next couple of weeks, and then they've just had to write whatever comes to mind, whereas sometimes it can take a little bit longer than that to piece something together that's going to be impressive and something that you put a lot of effort into. On the flip side, you might be writing a song that just comes together, and in that case you don't really have to worry. But if you do have difficulty with lyrics, which is something that I have had in the past, I've just not forced it, I've just waited. And I find that when I just take the pressure off myself, then that's when I start to think of things, and I always have something on hand, like a notepad on my phone, so that I can just type in lyrics that I think are good, or maybe for future songs or future projects, just get down little ideas. But I find that whenever I'm just about to go to sleep, that's where things pop into my head, and then it's good in that it pops into my head, but it's also not very good because it means then I start thinking about lyrics and songs and even chords and riffs. So then rather than going to sleep, I just turn on the light in the room, get the guitar, and have a little play through some ideas. So yeah, it's probably not very good for the sleep cycle, but it's just, I think the most creative part tends to be just before I'm going to sleep. I don't know why that is. Maybe my brain is most relaxed. Maybe you can't force it to the point where just relax and lie down, and maybe ideas will come to you. But even if they don't worry about it. I think getting stressed out about it is probably the worst thing, because then it will really feel like you're forcing a song or forcing lyrical content. But anyway, thank you so much for that donation and the question. And Motown Girl 22 has donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, great production. Did you know Carpenters did all their own background vocals? Read it in Karen's biography. So thank you for that. And generally bands, I mean, if they do sing, especially with Karen, I mean, Karen had one of those voices that was obviously standalone in terms of the tone, the range that we've explained and looked at on this channel before. And by the way, if you want to check that video out independently on Karen Carpenter, then you can do. But certainly when you've got somebody like Karen who had a naturally low range, or at least her range sat in a nice place tonally, quite low down, but she could still hit higher notes. She could still hit notes up in the mezzo-soprano range and the low end of the soprano range. So she had that ability to go above into those higher voice registers and her own vocal register. So it means that she could harmonize with herself. And that's generally what you'll find in the studio, is that singers will do their own backing vocals, harmonize with themselves, because they've got the ability to do that. And especially as well, I'm sure that her brother would get on the mic as well and get some of those even lower vocals maybe, and really thicken out that sound. So yeah, it's something that I'm sure a lot of bands, or a lot of bands do that in the studio, and maybe people don't know it. It's not common knowledge that they do all of their own backing vocals. Generally, what tended to happen back in maybe the 50s and 60s, you'd maybe get a little bit more of session musicians, session singers coming in to do backing vocals, and also bands that would come in and be the backing vocalist for a solo artist or a solo singer that then get a well-known band to then do the backing vocals for them. But that was very much more like a wrecking crew kind of setup where you'd get session musicians in to do that. I think when you were then a band who were a standalone band and very well known and played instruments, for example, they would do their own backing vocals. But that is pretty much, I think, for the most part, how it will work, especially nowadays. But I'm talking about bands who play instruments. They tend to do their own vocals and backing vocals. But if you're talking about really up to date in the pop charts at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if they do get session singers in. But I think for other singers, I mean, mainstream singers like Lady Gaga, for example, I'm sure she does all of her own backing vocals as well. It's only when she collaborates that she might have another vocalist on her records or CDs or MP3s, whatever you want to call them nowadays. But anyway, thank you. I mean, I could talk about that kind of stuff all night, but thank you so much for that donation. And Ginger Duran has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, what is your writing process? Lyrics first or melody or some combination thereof? So my approach has always been playing riffs on the guitar first, getting chords together, getting a progression, making something interesting instrumentally, and then getting a melody over the top of that, getting the phrasing of the melody as well, and then writing the lyrics to the phrasing of the melody. And it's something that I've said about my song Amelia. That was something that I had. I knew that the chorus was da 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 da. I needed something that had enough syllables in, or a name that had that amount of syllables in, so that I could fit that into the chorus. So I was just then trying to find names that fitted, and Amelia certainly worked for that. So that's pretty much my process, starting with the guitar, because I'm very much a guitarist who then tries to sing and then also tries to play other instruments. So that is my approach, and so it all starts really and stems from the guitar. So thank you for the donations in the super chat window. I know that there have been other donations in the PayPal window as well, so I will get to those, and I want to make sure that I don't miss any of those. And I can see that there has been a purchase on my website of an album, I think, or a download, so I will address that as well, because that is all to do with wingsofpegasus.com, everything that I do on this channel. So thank you everyone who has downloaded my music and bought an album as well, because I do send those out from here, by the way. I kind of sign the albums, the ones that are signed, send them out. So thank you guys for that. I think it is taking a bit longer to get delivered and get sent out because of COVID, but I will still be sending out CDs. I did mention over on Patreon actually that I need to restock, which is a good sign. So thank you guys for ordering the CDs. But thank you, Ginger Duran, as well, for that donation. And Shawnee Key has donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, tomorrow, April 21st, 2021, is the 5-year anniversary of Prince's death with a crying face. So thank you for that message, and also for that heads up about that anniversary. And Dan has donated $5 as well. Thank you for this, Dan. The message is, hi Phil, I just want to say hello and ask if you can speak a bit about getting past guitar practice blocks, trouble advancing. So thank you for that, Dan. Well, this is one of those that could be a very long answer. I think anybody that gets trapped or maybe gets stuck in their own practice, it depends what you're trying to do, because people have got different goals. Like, my goal was only ever to play the guitar so that I could, because I couldn't sing, I wanted to be able to sing through the guitar, so that if I had a melody in my head, I wanted to be able to play that. And that was my approach. So what I did was take just pentatonic shape 1, and I would play through that so many times that I could then predict what the next note would be, so that it started to be so in my memory that I could start playing the notes knowing what they were going to be before I played them. And you can do that all through that minor pentatonic shape 1, because when you realize that it's just a couple of octaves, you're repeating the same notes. It really does simplify the process. So that's what I started to do. If your goal is then to play a particular style of music, then there will be techniques that you might want to work on. I play kind of blues and hard rock, so I wanted to get through maybe blues scale, slides, a little bit of alternate picking when you get to the heavier hard rock kind of stuff. So that's what I focused on. And whenever you're trying to practice something that is more technical and is going to take more time, it's all about keeping it really slow, just being really methodical with it, and don't try and play too fast. I think this is the problem, that a lot of people think that in order to play fast, you've just got to try and practice fast all the time. Whereas so much of playing fast is muscle memory. It is subconscious. I have mentioned this in a lot of videos that I've done, that you need to practice it so slowly that you never make a mistake, and then gradually speed it up so that you're still never making a mistake. It's okay to now and again try and play it fast, and you might be able to do it maybe once or 2 or 3 times, and then the 4th time you'll make a mistake. That's okay, just then reel it in back to as slow as you need to play it to start to not make mistakes, because that is how you start to play really fast, and just getting that subconscious muscle memory used to it. And when you start to analyze what is fast playing is very, very accurate movements that are done very quickly. And you can't do that consciously because you're not thinking about each movement. You've got to teach your hand to do it. You've really got to spoon feed your hand where you want it to go so slowly that you can start to then speed it up, and it knows exactly where to go each time. So it depends. Everybody's different, and if Dan, you're getting stuck and you can't advance, it's all about analyzing, what am I trying to do? And are you even trying to do something? Are you just playing the same thing every time? And some people will be doing that, but they are playing their own way and just coming up with their own lines on the guitar. So the creative process, once you get to that point, I don't see that as ever getting stuck, because you're constantly playing the guitar the way you want to and expressing yourself. And that's what playing the guitar is all about, just getting your voice to come through that guitar. But if you get to a point where you're just playing the same runs, the same licks all the time, and you've got maybe 10 or 15 that you do, and then you think, well, right, I've run out, then it might be a case of trying to just go through that minor pentatonic shape, go through the blues scale, and really commit it to memory so that you can play on the fly, so that you can play for 10, 15, 20 minutes and always play something different. And that's what I would advise. I wouldn't get too hung up about playing really fast, because that is something that you just need to sit down and consciously play it, so that you do it so slowly it then becomes subconscious, and you can start to throw that kind of stuff in with your expressive playing and your conscious playing. And that's what all the best guitarists in the world have. They've got conscious playing paired with speed and subconscious playing. So it's just having a nice mix of those two things, just to keep your playing interesting. But anyway, thank you so much for that, Dan. And Mike has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Mike. And the message is, you start dreaming a little before you fall asleep. So thank you for that, Mike, and that $5 donation. And I think I do realize that sometimes when I think, oh, I really need to go to sleep because I've only got like maybe 2 or 3 hours before I'm getting up in the morning, then my brain sometimes says, oh, well, you better go to sleep then. And you think, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go to sleep, so if you can be quiet. And my brain keeps me awake because I know that I've got to be up. So it's almost like you're panicking because you know you need to get some sleep because you're up in 2 or 3 hours time. But then your brain, it keeps on reminding you that you better go to sleep. And sometimes when I've started to dream, my brain said, oh, you're falling asleep now. And I go, and it wakes me up. I don't know whether other people have this problem or not, but yeah, it's a little bit frustrating because inevitably you then just can't get to sleep for 2 or 3 hours, and then your alarm goes off on your phone telling you to get up, and you know you haven't been to sleep, which is a real pain. But anyway, thank you for that donation, and also that little message about dreaming. And Tortoro Porca has just donated $3 as well. Thank you for that. And the message is, looking forward to hearing your CD and mixing skills. So thank you for that. And this is referencing a CD that was ordered and I have packaged up and is ready to send off. So thank you for that order, and all you guys who are ordering through the website as well. So in the PayPal window, we have had another donation, and this has come in from Lucy again. Thank you for that, Lucy. It's for £6. And the message is, howdy Phil, fellow wingers and new wingers, don't forget to spike the likes, Jarl, with a thumbs up. Loved your playing, Stevie Ray Vaughan and Rory Gallagher. Phil, very talented with some rock horns, heart and peace. So thank you for that, Lucy. And these are just a couple of the messages, or should I say the couple of messages that I put up on Patreon about redoing a couple of analysis videos because of copyrights, and that was, I think, just a good way to work around it in order to listen to it, but also just break down what the guitarist is doing in the actual performance that I'm looking at, rather than having a broader look at the techniques that are involved with a particular artist. So it was just interesting to have a little look at their playing and try and break it down a little bit and attempt to play a little bit like them. But it's always going to be impossible when you're talking about great players who express themselves so well on the fretboard. But thank you so much for that, Lucy. And I know that there was that CD order. Let's have a little look at what came through. And this was Richard, who has purchased an album. So thank you so much for that, Richard, for going over to wingsofpegasus.com/music. That's where you can find my album called Persistence and download any tracks that you do want to download individually. So thank you for that. And then we get the confirmation from Richard. So thank you for that. And Steve has donated £5 as well. Thank you for this, Steve. The message is, are you saying that if you took a break, you would have too much time on your hands? Sticks. So thank you for that little reference, Steve. And yeah, possibly. Or I think I'm very good at filling time. Like whenever I have an admin day, which is a Monday and a Thursday currently, that's when I get up to speed with emails, because generally when I'm doing videos and live streams and the live analysis videos, I'm spending a lot of the day just doing stuff for that, or just trying to keep up with everything. Whereas then when I'm doing a video, of course, then it might be 6, 7 or 8 hours that I'm not then answering messages, so they tend to stack up a little bit. So on a Monday and a Thursday I have admin days. But with Under the Spotlight at the moment and emailing and getting that all organised, I think that I've been using a lot of my admin time on the Under the Spotlight stuff. And if I had more time, there are lots of other jobs that I know I've got listed with merch, for example. That is something that I have a contact and somebody that helps me over on spring.com, which used to be teespring.com, and she's called Stephanie, and she messages me about the new merchandise and whether I'd want to maybe start or design something to do with that. But unfortunately at the moment I haven't got time to focus on the merchandise because I'm doing the Under the Spotlight and keeping up with all the emails. And if you don't know, it's me doing everything on this channel, so it is difficult to keep up. And just to mention that I did make a note of the 3 things that Stephanie mentioned over at spring.com in terms of merchandise were beanies. That was one thing, probably good here for the UK because it gets pretty cold. Water bottles as well, which is quite good to take with you, I guess. And stainless steel tumblers. And I'm not even sure what those are. Are they for drinking? Maybe alcohol, a tumbler? I think it is something like that. Maybe that you have whiskey in. Or maybe I'm making that up. But anyway, whatever that is, that's what could be branded as Wings of Pegasus. So those were the 3 things that were mentioned by Stephanie. Like I said, I don't have time at the moment to really get into that. But if it is something that you guys want, either of those 3 things, you can maybe let me know or send a message or mention it in the live stream, something like that, so I can get a bit of a vibe as to what you guys want merchandise wise. And then if anything pops up from Stephanie that she can tell me about, I'll let you guys know that it's a possibility, and then maybe we can get more merch on the tray underneath this video. By the way, let's have a spike of the likes. If you can, hit that thumbs up, it'd be much appreciated. But also a plug of the mug, because you can get your hands on one of these mugs, and any mug, there's a few different designs. in the tray underneath this video. That is something that I normally plug, where we look at Orlando's first donation. We didn't do that tonight, so that is the plug of the mug for tonight. But also you can get yourself a t-shirt, zip up hoodies, normal hoodies. There's also guitar picks over at wingsofpegasus.com, and that's Carla that organizes all of that, so thank you again for Carla, to Carla for that. And again, a huge happy birthday for 2 days, Carla. It is her birthday. If you missed it, you've just joined in. That's what we were mentioning earlier. But thank you, Steve, for that donation. And I can see that Karen has donated as well, £3.43. Thank you for that, Karen. The message is, hi Phil, I found this interesting quote from Steven Tyler. Great melody over great riffs is, to me, the secret of it all. I appreciate how you provide insight from a musician's viewpoint. You remind me of what I learned and teach me new things from one musician to another musician. I sincerely thank you, Karen. So thank you for that donation, Karen, and the kind words and the quote again. We've got a few quotes from Karen, and we had one from Jimi Hendrix, I think, last live stream from Karen, a quote from that. So thank you for those. And I'm just going to scroll up because Matt has ordered a CD over on the website as well. So thank you so much for that, Matt. And I'll package that up and send it off to you and sign it and write a little message on there. So thank you for that. And then we get the confirmation as well. And Orlando has donated £7 in the PayPal window. So thank you for that, Orlando. And the message is, and this is a long message. I recall in the 2001 movie Rockstar, a box office bomb, but I loved it. Mark Wahlberg's character, Chris Cole, got into a fistfight with his lead guitarist Rob over song performance content. Their band, Blood Pollution, was a fictional cover band of fictional metal band Steel Dragon. Chris wanted to stick to the original, to the Steel Dragon songs. Chris wanted to add special flavors. This caused fisticuffs in front of a live audience. Chris's girlfriend, played by Jennifer Aniston, says, "Oh no, not again. Have you ever seen that in real life?" So thank you for that. A very long message, Orlando. And let me just scroll up to the top, because I might have seen, it's either the scene that you're talking about where he doesn't do the squeal. He's not getting the squeal quite right. And I think it might be, I'm not sure whether I've got this right, whether that's the scene or whether that's the same movie, but I seem to remember having seen that, where it's the classic squeal on the low E string, maybe 3rd fret, the G, where you can get the pinched harmonic, and classic sound of the 80s, getting that pinched harmonic sound and getting that squeal. And that was something that they then fell out, and then one of them stormed off. But I haven't ever seen that in real life, and that is the same as Ginny's question that we had earlier on in the live stream as well, asking me, I think, if I'd seen that kind of thing. But no, I haven't seen it live, only on YouTube and in movies such as that. But thank you, Orlando, for that donation. And I'm just going to scroll up because Steve has donated £5. Thank you for that, Steve. And the message is, how about Wings of Pegasus golf balls? Many companies have their names stamped on golf balls. Should be easy to manage. So thank you for that, Steve. And I haven't looked into that. I think my contacts at the moment, such as spring.com, they do t-shirts and hoodies and, you know, glasses, drinks glasses, that kind of thing. And I don't think they are in the golf ball area of merchandise at the moment, but maybe if they do, we can get some Wings of Pegasus golf balls, and you can just smack Wings of Pegasus, ideally down the fairway, but probably more than likely with me just slightly off the fairway, maybe in the heavy rough. But I think I am getting a little bit better, fingers crossed, because I tend to now hit the ball straighter. Probably because I'm not hitting it as far, but straight is good for golf just in general. If it goes where you're aiming, that's the half of it. So thank you for that, Steve. And I'm just going to scroll up because Marge has donated £2.06. So thank you for that, Marge. And that is a straight up donation. So thank you guys for all of these donations in the super chat window. We are already at 1:45 here in the morning. So we are going to be jumping into the original song request over on Patreon for a video. If you can keep hitting that thumbs up, it'd be much appreciated. And just as I say that, I think 2 people just did it and we are at 200 likes. So thank you guys for getting us to 200. Still a ways to go to get to 370, but we will try our best and see if anybody else joins us in the live chat room tonight. So I'm just going to have a little look, and it is Chet who has donated $1.99 in that super chat window. Thank you for that, Chet. And Chet says, cool. And it's the guy, I think he's doing maybe the rock sign. I can't see whether he's got some rock horns going on, but thank you for that, Chet. And Carl has donated $5, and the message is to get work on the fringe. So thank you for that, Carl. And I mean, the fringe could be a golf term because I think that's just off the green is the fringe. But yeah, my fringe is pretty long at the moment. Fortunately, we're curling away from my face, and as you can see, I'm having to really push it wide. We don't want to talk about hair too much, but again, I haven't been able to get, well, I say I haven't been able to get in contact with my hairdresser. Unfortunately, I think her phone is out of action because she hasn't answered. I've sent every single message you can think of on Facebook and WhatsApp on my phone, and I don't usually use these things. That's probably the problem. And also, I've now messaged where she works as well to try and organise some kind of haircut. So I am struggling to just book something at some point in the future, and we're definitely at a new record of hair length on this fringe. Certainly, and probably on this as well. I mean, this is getting pretty long. If I straighten this out, this would be, yeah. I mean, normally it's at about shoulder length. Now we are getting a bit crazy. But anyway, we will see. I'm sure you guys will notice immediately when I then have a fringe instead of a center parting. But thank you for that, Carl. And we are going to be jumping into the first requested original video over on Patreon. So let's have a little look down the list and see what we've had going on there. Donna has requested Running Blind, and Melissa requested Just Got Lucky. That was one of those that I did say earlier. It was a Dokken track to try and just get a couple of, or 2 birds with 1 stone with the requests. And Lisa, Paris Nord, and Greed, and then we've got Paris Nord, Percy Johnson as well. Percy Johnson and Paris Nord from Leanne. It looks like we might be having a look at Paris Nord because Therese has asked for that as well. Beverly has asked for that as well, and Orlando asked for that as well, and Lynn's asked for that as well. Nalita, and just scrolling down, and Karen as well. So thank you guys for all of the requests for Paris Nord. Let me try and find the lyric video for this. My record for clicking on the right button isn't particularly good, but we will see if this is the right one to click on. And I'll see you guys after this. Rock. And there we have it. That's my song called Paris Nord. Thank you guys for requesting that over on patreon.com/wingtopegasus. And I'm just going to jump into the PayPal donations window because I can see that we have had not only one in there, but also the super chat. So we'll get to that. And it looks like there have been a few in there. So I want to try and keep up to date with everything. And let's have a little scroll down because David has donated £6.85. Thank you for this, David. And the message is, hi Phil and Wingers. Teacher Man 1955 here. Regarding muscle memory, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Navy SEAL saying rock. So thank you for that. And that is certainly what it's all about, is making... And some people who do play the guitar and have started playing the guitar will notice how when you are changing chords to begin with, it takes quite a long time and each finger just goes there almost on its own, one at a time, and then as you start to get better, your fingers move at the same speed and they all move as one to each chord and they become smooth. And this is something that when you're watching a top player, even a top player who is super fast at playing, it looks slow because it is so smooth. So it's definitely true, and this is why it's just so important to practice slowly and smoothly and correctly, making sure you're getting all of the notes and not messing it up when you're learning to play faster. But thank you for that donation and the question. And I'm going to jump into the super chat window because in there we had Randy, who has donated $5. Thank you for that, Randy. And the message is, I'm just coming out of recovery from successful back surgery, so $5 are in order. So thank you for that, Randy. And congratulations on the successful back surgery. I think anyone who's had any kind of back problems can empathize with, I mean, having surgery, that's a huge thing, and it's great that it's gone well. And I mean, I haven't had too many back problems, fortunately. I think the only back problems that I have had is from probably working out and just not necessarily when I'm exercising and watching my form and making sure I'm doing everything correctly. It's when you quickly pick something up and it's not even that heavy, but it's just because you're not thinking, and then you twinge something in your back. And then you realise that every single movement you do in your life includes that particular muscle and you can hardly move. I did actually, thinking of it now, did damage my back and kind of tore some muscle fibres in my back when I was working as a personal trainer, and they had upstairs an old gas heater that took like these butane canisters that were about 25 kilos, something like that. And I picked up one of those and I took it. It was having to go upstairs as well, so I took that upstairs, plugged it in and everything, and then went downstairs and I'd finished my personal training sessions for that day. And actually, I probably shouldn't have been asked to do that. It was not part of my job description, but anyway, I was asked by the owner to do that. So then I went back home, and when I finished driving and I went to get out of the car, I couldn't move my back. So I'd obviously injured it, lifting it, but it kind of hadn't set in, or it hadn't seized up yet. So in the car, I was stuck because I couldn't move. And then I realised, oh, that would have been that thing that I lifted that I thought I was fine. And yeah, that is, you know the point at which when you do then straighten up, you can't bend over because your back just won't let you do it. It's that extension down of the back muscles that, yeah, was an absolute nightmare. But anyway, thank you, Randy, for that, and I hope that your back is recovered and everything goes well with it in the future, because, yeah, I mean, just a tiny little twinge in the back really does affect you and affects everybody so seriously. But thank you, Orlando, as well, for donating $5. And the message is, my mug, t-shirt and hat arrived separately via the mail. I want to share a picture, but cannot find the hat in my abomination of a messy apartment, with a sad face. So, thank you for that, Orlando. So, Orlando's hat is somewhere. He's just got to try and find it. And then there's another donation that came in from Orlando after that, and it's another $5 donation. Thank you again. The message is, when I find my Wings of Pegasus hat, I will take a picture ASAP. So thank you for that. And yes, get that picture up on the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook, and then we'll all take a look at it. We are going to be jumping into the pictures imminently, but just before we do, to get the donations up to date in the PayPal window, I'm just going to scroll up because there has been another one from Beth. So thank you for this, Beth, and it's for £20.56. Thank you for that. The message is, cheers Phil, thank you for featuring Paris Nord, my favourite. I have listened to the download and my hubby even likes it, and he doesn't like anything he's never heard. I'm just letting you know that you have the most clever and creative fans. We have a blast over on Facebook. Just thought you would appreciate knowing that. Guess you must be rubbing off on us. With a smiley face, some rock horns, and a cool smiley face as well. So thank you for that message, and also the donation, Beth. And thank you for the kind words about the song. And this is the great thing about not only the channel, but over on Facebook as well, where everybody in the live chat room hangs out between the live streams on the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. You can join in with that and just introduce yourselves. And if you are new to these live streams, introduce yourself here as well, because it's such a great community and everybody knows everybody else just because at some point they introduce themselves in the live chat room, and then we just get familiar with the usernames and the regular viewers as well. So a great community that we've got here, and it's really well managed as well by the moderators. So thank you again, moderators, for doing such a fantastic job. So without further ado, let's have a little look at some of you guys on screen. I think we just have a couple of pictures for tonight. So let's get the background up on screen and let's see who we have got tonight. And it's just told me in the software, this always happens during the live stream, is telling me or asking me, do I want to update the software? And of course I don't want to update the software because I'm about to show some pictures. So the first picture we're going to be taking a look at is Chet. And Chet has his Wings of Pegasus tin, first of all, to hold any pics, but he also has the Wings of Pegasus signed pic with the picture, and you can only get your hands on one of those from the pic roulette. So Chet was a winner of that, and I think Chet did a message with this saying something like, if he can win, then anybody can win, which is true. And the pic roulette only happens when we reach the likes goal for the live stream. So we don't have one every single live stream. They are just a rare commodity at the moment, so you have to be really lucky in order to win one. But as Chet has demonstrated, if you get your name on that wheel and type I agree when we hit the targets, then you can win yourselves. So thank you, Chet, so much for uploading that to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. And we have a picture here, and this is of Kevin with his certificate for his jab, his coronavirus or his COVID-19 jab, and he's also wearing the Wings of Pegasus mask. So thank you for uploading that one, Kevin. I think this might be one from a while ago that maybe I missed out. I think I might have shown Kevin's just the card by itself with the signature and then the mask with the card, but here is Kevin modeling the mask as well. So thank you so much for uploading that, both Kevin and Chet. And if you want to get yourself up on screen, or yourselves up on screen, head over to that Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook, upload a picture, and then I get linked to them by Vince and Carla as well. So thank you guys for doing that. So let's remove that. We should be back now on screen. So those were the pictures. Like I said, unfortunately, we don't have any pig roulette tonight because we've been a little bit behind with the likes. I think this is something that is going to be a feature, or at least a feature of the live streams on Tuesday. The fact that the amount of people that are tuning in, I pretty much know that YouTube won't be sending out the notifications because of the fact now so many of you have been donating through PayPal, which means that YouTube don't make as much money, and they obviously don't promote live streams that make less money. They promote the ones where people obviously give more money. But for me, it is a lot better if the donations come through PayPal, because then I'm not giving away 35 to 45% to YouTube. So it means that just the people donating at least know that I'm receiving their donations, and it's not being just having a percentage taken out of it before it gets to me, and it's quite a hefty percentage. So thank you guys for donating on PayPal, and I think as long as you guys know that these live streams happen and you tune in, I'll always be here. Even if a lot of people then don't tune in and there's maybe only 5 or 10 of us, I'll still be here live streaming and still be playing videos and all that kind of stuff. So thank you guys for joining me just throughout the transitional period that we're having at the moment. But maybe in the future we can get a few more people tuning in. We have had, it looks like, 238 likes so far, so thank you guys so much for hitting that thumbs up button and for joining me on the Tuesday, but on Saturdays as well. So just a quick bit of news on the Under the Spotlight video series that I'm working on behind the scenes. We are going to be having the first one of that, I'm hoping, before the end of the month, but things are, I mean, the date always races on. It's here, it's the 21st. It's still the 20th, I think, over in the USA. So 21st here. I'm hoping to get the first one done before the end of the month, but I'm definitely going to be getting one done in probably a couple of weeks' time, a few weeks' time, at the beginning of next month, because I have James Bell and his solo's been done. He's recording the video for it as well. So we will be doing that, and it's going to coincide with his album release. So we're going to be looking at that in the beginning of next month, but I'm really hoping that we're going to be having Buck Dharma before the end of this month, and we just got to get things organized with the video and the audio and everything like that. So thank you to everyone involved. If you guys want Guitarist to be featured on Under the Spotlight, then let me know and I'll do my best to try and get in contact with them. It might be the case that if you guys and myself find a page or a place where we can message them en masse, then maybe once the first one's done, we can include a link to that and maybe get some other guitarists interested or featured, because we've then at least got a little bit of an example to show them what the series is all about. And I think that's always going to be a little bit of a problem. I mean, I've had a great response from people, because all I'm doing really is sending out the email about the future series, not being able to give a demonstration or an example of what it's going to look like. So it's great that I've had so many positive responses, considering that I haven't done the first one yet. So fingers crossed for more of the same in the future, and I do already have quite a few people lined up, which is great because we've got some great players that we're going to feature. But just back into the PayPal donations window as well. So let me just have a little scroll up, because we've had a donation from John, who has donated £13.70p. So thank you for that, John. And the message is, "Hi Phil, John from Massachusetts. Please keep doing these shows. I absolutely enjoy and look forward to them. I love you, man. Keep up the great work." So thank you for that, John, for the kind words, and I will keep this up as long as people are watching, as long as you're watching. John, I will be doing these videos. By the way, tomorrow's live analysis video, that's going to be happening the same time as this, at least when it goes live. It's going to be 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time. So if you haven't checked out one of those, then tomorrow's a great time to start watching one. And we're going to be taking a look at, I think, probably George Benson. That's one of the videos that I think will be okay on copyrights. I'm a little bit limited as to what I can do on the live analysis videos, but hopefully we'll have a little look at George and maybe attempt to play a little bit like him and just do our normal live analysis thing. So check that out tomorrow night if you do get a chance. I'll be setting up the event for that after this live stream. But thank you for all of the donations tonight, John, for that donation. I'm just going to have a little look down the requests, because we've got a little bit of time left, just 6 minutes past 1. So I'm going to have a look down the requests over on Patreon, because we'll probably watch one more video. We're going to need one hell of a spike of the likes in order to get up to 370 tonight. But I'm going to have a little look, and I think Percy Johnson was requested quite a lot tonight as well. Let's have a little look down. Percy Johnson, there's at least 3 of them that I've seen there. So let's have a little look at Percy. He's probably still stuck in the same situation as he always is, but I'll get this going. Hopefully I can find the video. Again, it's always a little bit random as to whether I click on the right one. And let's see if I can find it. Where is it? I can't see it at the moment. I know it's got to be here somewhere. There it is. Okay, I've got it. So, well, fingers crossed this is the right one. And I will see you guys after this. Rock!
Beyond London Bridge at 2, a car will be waiting there for you. For now your family are okay, as long as you do what we say. Don't hurt them, I'm coming. On the table, that was my half of the deal. In the briefcase, now we need 2 million more. We know who you're working for. Just say the word and MI5 break down the door. Don't trust him, he's bluffing. On the table, that was my half of the deal. In the briefcase, now we need 2 million more. Sky is falling. Here come the angels dressed in black. It's not quite clear who will live and who shall die. On the table, that was my half of the deal. In the briefcase, now we need 2 million more. On the table, that was my half of the deal. In the briefcase, now we need 2 million more.
And there we have it. That was my song called Percy Johnson. Thank you for requesting that one, guys. And we've had another little donation in the PayPal donations window. And it's not a little donation, it's £6.85. So thank you so much for that, Lee. And it is a straight up donation as well without a message. So thank you for that, Lee. And there's been another donation in the super chat window as well. And this is from Des again, $20. Thank you so much for that. And the message is great song and live stream! Exclamation mark. So thank you for the kind words about the song and the live stream. And thank you guys for joining me tonight. By the way, something that I haven't mentioned is about tomorrow night's live analysis. Obviously I've mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I'm going to be trying out a new setup on the screen. So I'll probably be sitting a little bit over this way, and it's the box that you would have seen on the last 2 analysis videos, or trying to play like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Rory Gallagher. I had a box in the top corner, and it's kind of up in this section, but I'm going to be trying to use that tomorrow so that at least the guitar, you'll be able to see it while I'm watching and while I'm demonstrating things, because that was a little bit of a pitfall of the previous setup that I had, where the software cuts the screen in half. It cut off the top of my guitar and everyone couldn't see what I was playing. So tomorrow I'm going to be experimenting with the new setup, so that'll be interesting to see if it even works, because that'll be the first time it's been used. So you can just tune in to see if everything goes haywire or whether it's going to work or not. So it'd be cool to see you guys then, if you can make it. It's going to be 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time. Type in on Google your time zone in order to get that organised and make sure that you tune in at the right time. But it's the same time that these live streams go live on a Tuesday and a Saturday. And as always, I'm going to be doing a video on Friday night as well, analysis video Sunday night as well. So if I'm going to be calling this to a close now, this live stream, but if you can join me in the live chat room tomorrow night, then that would be great. It'd be good to see you, and I'll set up that event after this live stream. Thank you guys so much for joining me, for hitting that thumbs up as well. If you're watching this in the future and you're part of the Catch Up crew, you can still hit that thumbs up. It really does help this channel to grow, and for these live streams to get out there, but for every single video to get out there as well. You have no idea how much that likeometer and just that like button has an impact on the channel. So thank you guys for doing that, and thank you for the Catch Up crew doing it in the future. And we're looking at the Catch Up crew to get us to 370. It's still a really big target, considering that we're at 259 at the moment. So that's going to be another 111 people we're looking for in that Catch Up crew. So if you do get a chance to hit that thumbs up, that would be great. And just before we do finish, I can see that another donation has come in the PayPal window, and this is from Lucy. And the donation is £2.50, so thank you for that. And the message is, "Fill tune please," with a smiley face. So thank you for that, Lucy. And I think I don't have things set up in order to do the cartoon tonight, unfortunately, but it might be the case that we can do one on Saturday, maybe. I can try and kind of shoehorn one in there, because I don't think we're having a pick roulette on Saturday. I don't think we hit the target last week, so we might have a little bit more time. It is 1:15 here in the morning, and as you guys know, that on these live streams I am limited pretty much to about 1:15, 1:20, because then I also have to set up the live analysis for tomorrow night. Probably start looking into that video as well, start planning things a bit, but also uploading this, or at least doing a post on Patreon of this live stream, and then get to all of the messages and emails and comments and things that have come in while I've been live. So I do have things that I have to do or finish before I go to bed tonight, just to keep everything still organised and just keep those wheels turning and everything, going, because if it gets on top of me, then it can become a little bit of a nightmare. So I'm going to be calling it to a close now, because it leaves me a little bit more time to get everything else organised for tonight. But thank you, Lucy, for that donation, and I will actually make a note now. I'm going to see if I can do a new note on my computer to say cartoon for Saturday. So that is now on my notes for Saturday, so I will put that into the live stream. So thank you for that, Lucy. I'm not sure which one I'll be able to play. I don't know whether I'll get time to kind of organise it and get it from my old computer, because that's where the cartoons are. I think there are 2 more that we haven't seen, but yeah, I'll try and maybe get one from the old computer, but it might just have to be one that we've seen before. I think we've had 3 of them so far, but anyway, I will try and do my best. The problem is with the computer that the cartoons are on, it's my old Mac, and because it's so old, it's a little bit slow. It takes ages to load, and I have to effectively bounce and mix down the audio and then the video to it. So we will see how I get on with that. But thank you, Lucy, for that. I'll try and make that happen for Saturday. And thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight and for hitting that thumbs up. So we will see you, hopefully. I talk about we as in the live chat room with myself. We'll see any new members, but we'll see each other tomorrow night on the live analysis. And if I don't see you then, I'll see you at the analysis on Friday night. So thank you guys so much for joining me. And just a quick hello and thank you to Lynn, Tortoro Porco, Chet, Billy, Laurie, Sandy, and waiting to see the name go through. I think it's Teachman 1955, Paula, Stan, Deborah, Beth, and Lisa, Nalita, and Donna. Thank you guys, and a big shout out to the moderators as well for doing such a fantastic job. I will catch you guys at the next one. Try to stay safe, self-isolated, wearing your masks if your government are telling you to do that or advising you to do that. And congratulations to those of you who have had your jabs. Just if you are advised to have the jabs, it's probably a good idea because getting COVID is definitely worse than having the jab. For all intents and purposes, that's certainly what the doctors are saying. But look after yourselves, stay safe. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night for that live analysis, and I will see you guys at the next one. Rock!